How many times have you told yourself, I'll start when the timing's better? What if I told you that waiting for the perfect moment isn't just costing you opportunities, it's actively sabotaging your soul's work? In today's episode, I'm going to show you why, quote, someday is the most expensive word in an entrepreneur's vocabulary, and how to break free from the waiting trap that's keeping you from the impact, income, and fulfillment you are truly meant for. Your work matters too much to postpone. The world needs your medicine now, not someday. Join me for a conversation that might just be the permission slip you need to finally take that leap you've been contemplating. Welcome to Herself, a space for women to have deep conversations about the intersection between spiritual entrepreneurship and fulfilling your potential, so you can become the woman you truly are in every area of your life. After being in business for over 2 decades, I've learned, as you likely have too, that as you grow your business grows you in unexpected, often challenging, yet miraculous ways. Here, we'll talk about how to get out of your own way so you can grow a business that's abundant and sustainable while allowing you to be a force for good in the world. I'll give you simple, actionable strategies as well as wisdom and inspiration to help you root into your wholeness, lead from your values, and work in ways that feel deeply aligned so you can bring your true self into the world through your business and in every area of your life. Have you ever told yourself, I'll start when I have more time, when my kids are older, when I have more savings, when I feel more confident, when the economy is better? If you're nodding your head right now, you are not alone. Almost every woman I've mentored has fallen into this waiting trap at some point, and I'm raising my hand over here too. Yes, I've been there. Today, we are talking about one of the most insidious ways we sabotage our soul's work, the illusion of, quote, someday. What I've observed after 2 decades of working with spiritual women entrepreneurs is that waiting is not just about procrastination. It's deeper than that. It's often our protective parts trying to keep us safe from rejection, safe from failure, safe from being seen in our full power. But here's the truth. There is a profound risk in waiting. Every day you postpone stepping fully into your calling, you are paying costs you might not even realize. Cost to your evolution, your income, your impact, and the people who need what only you can offer. So today, I want to walk you through 1, the hidden spiritual and energetic costs of waiting. 2, how to identify which parts of you are keeping you in this holding pattern. 3, why waiting is often connected to our feminine leadership wounds. And 4, most importantly, how to take aligned action now, even when conditions aren't, quote, perfect. Because the world doesn't need you someday. It needs your medicine, your wisdom, your unique offering today. And you don't need perfect conditions to begin, you just need to start. So if you have been waiting for that sign to move forward with your program launch, that book, that business pivot you've been dreaming about, because I know there's something you're waiting to do that deep down you really want to do, but some parts of you are scared or doubtful, consider this your sign. Let's start by getting really honest about what waiting is actually costing you, because when we're in that holding pattern of, oh, I'll just do it later, we rarely calculate the true price that we're paying. So first, there's the obvious financial cost. If you have a business idea or an offer that could generate, say, $5,000 a month, every month you delay is $5,000 you'll never get back. That's $60,000 a year of potential income that simply vanishes. Money that could fund your dreams, support your family, allow you to invest in your retirement, a new home, or contribute to causes that you care about. But beyond the financial costs, there are deeper costs that are harder to quantify, but I'd say they're even more significant. So let's look at those. Well, there's the cost to your evolution. Every time you delay taking that leap, you are postponing your own growth. You're delaying the woman you're meant to become, the woman you will become by doing that thing that you can only become by doing that thing. So think about it. The version of you who has already launched that program, already written that book or built that community is wiser, more self-assured, more impactful than the you who's still here waiting. Then there's the cost to your confidence. The longer you wait, the more your inner critic gets to reinforce the story that you're not ready, that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy of taking up space. So waiting doesn't build confidence, it actually diminishes it. Only action builds confidence. And perhaps most importantly, there's the cost to the people you're meant to serve. This is something I see so many spiritual women entrepreneurs miss. Your work isn't just about you. It's about the healing, the transformation, and the empowerment you're here to offer others. Every day you wait is another day someone who needs exactly what you offer continues to struggle without your support. So I remember working with a client, let's call her Maya, who had been sitting on a program for sensitive, empathic leaders for over 2 years. She kept refining it, tweaking it, waiting until it felt perfect. And when she finally launched it, one of her first clients told her, I've been looking for exactly this support for the past 3 years, and I wish that I'd found you sooner. And that feedback was both validating and heartbreaking for Maya because she realized how many people she could have helped during those 2 years that she'd been waiting. So I invite you to ask yourself, who is waiting for you while you're waiting for the quote, right time? So if waiting comes with such high costs, why do we do it in the first place? Now, this is where I love to bring in the wisdom of internal family systems, or IFS, because it helps us understand that this pattern isn't a personal failing. Rather, it's actually being driven by parts of us that are trying to protect us. So when we're in that waiting pattern, there are typically a few key parts at play. First, there's often a perfectionist part that believes that it has to be flawless before you can share it. And this part of you is terrified of criticism and judgment. It believes that if you wait long enough, you can create something that's beyond reproach. But as you know, that's just not possible. Perfection is an illusion. And the most successful entrepreneurs aren't perfectionists. No, they're iterators. They launch, they learn, they refine based on real feedback, not hypothetical in their head scenarios. Then there's often a fear-based part that's trying to keep you safe from rejection or safe from failure. And this part believes that if you wait for perfect conditions, the risk of failure will somehow diminish. But the irony is that waiting actually increases risk over time. The risk of regret, the risk of someone else fulfilling the need you identified, the risk of your passion cooling into complacency. I also frequently encounter what I call the once bitten, twice shy part. This is the part that says, I tried something like this before and I failed. Or I invested in that coach and it didn't work out. Or I launched a similar offering last year and no one bought it. This part is holding onto past disappointments as evidence that you should wait until you're absolutely certain of success. It's trying to protect you from experiencing that same pain again. But here's the thing, those past experiences weren't failures, they were feedback. Remember, this is about iteration. They were crucial data points on your journey. The most successful entrepreneurs I know have stories of programs that flopped, investments that didn't pay off, launches that fell flat. I have a whole list of those stories. The difference is we use those experiences as stepping stones rather than as stop signs. They are part of the process. I also see many women with a not enough part. Not knowledgeable enough, not experienced enough, not certified enough. This part believes that with just one more course, just one more certification, just one more year of experience, then you'll finally be ready. But I've seen women with decades of experience and multiple advanced degrees still feeling not enough, while others with far less formal training are out there making a profound impact. And particularly for women, there's often well, who am I to blank, 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 fill in the dot part? Who am I to lead? Who am I to charge premium prices? Who am I to take up space? This part is deeply connected to both personal wounds and collective feminine wounds around visibility, authority, worthiness. The key insight from IFS is that all these parts have positive intentions. They're trying to protect you from pain, from disappointment, from harm. But the problem isn't the part themselves, is that they're using these outdated strategies that no longer serve your highest good, and that you're letting them lead your inner system. So when you feel yourself slipping into waiting mode, I invite you to get curious. You might ask, which part of me is promoting this delay? What is this part afraid would happen if I moved forward now? When did this part take on this protective role in my life? And what does this part need to feel safe enough to allow me to move forward? Let's just be clear, this isn't about overriding or silencing these protective parts, not at all. It's about acknowledging them, understanding their concerns, and gently updating their understanding of what truly keeps you safe and fulfilled in the present. This is what it looks like to be self-led in your business. Now, from a spiritual perspective, waiting can represent a profound misalignment with our soul's purpose and with divine timing. There's a saying I love. It's that the universe rewards courage, not comfort. When we wait for conditions to be perfect before taking action, we're operating from a place of scarcity and fear rather than abundance and trust. And we're essentially telling the universe, I don't trust that you'll support me unless everything is perfectly lined up. But we know that that's just not how divine co-creation works. In my own journey and in working with hundreds of women entrepreneurs, I have observed that the universe tends to meet us at the edge of our comfort zone, not safely within it. It's when we take that leap of faith that doors unexpectedly open, the right people appear, and resources we didn't even know were available suddenly come forward. This doesn't mean we act recklessly or without discernment, of course not. But there's a significant difference between intentional patience, which is consciously choosing to wait for the right time, and procrastination dressed up as spiritual wisdom. So you might ask, how do you tell the difference? Well, intentional patience feels spacious, feels grounded, it feels peaceful. There's no anxiety or FOMO when you're in true divine timing. And you know in your bones that this is a sacred pause, not an avoidance. Procrastination, even when spiritually rationalized, carries an undercurrent of anxiety, doubt, restlessness. There's often a feeling of being slightly out of integrity with yourself. And I've also noticed that waiting is sometimes connected to a misunderstanding of feminine energy in business. So yes, the divine feminine is receptive, cyclical, intuitive, but she's also fiercely creative, boldly expressive, and deeply committed to bringing forth new life. So think of the immense power of childbirth. It doesn't happen through passive waiting. It requires active surrender to a force greater than ourselves. Likewise, your business, your work in the world is a co-creation. It requires both your active participation and your surrender to something larger. So one of my favorite questions to ask when I find myself in waiting mode is this: am I waiting because my soul is calling for a pause? Or am I waiting because my ego is afraid? The answer to that question can be transformative. So how do we move beyond this pattern of waiting and into aligned action? I want to share some practical approaches that honor both the spiritual and practical dimensions of this journey because we need both. First, practice radical honesty with yourself. Name the waiting for what it truly is. Is it really about timing, resources, or readiness? Or underlying it, is it really about fear, perfectionism, or unworthiness? This clarity is crucial because you can't transform what you don't even acknowledge. Second, start with one of my most favorite things, a minimal, viable offering. Instead of waiting until you can launch the perfect comprehensive program or super polished website, what is the absolute simplest version you can create right now? Maybe it's a single workshop. Maybe it's a beta version of your program, or even working with a few clients at a reduced rate to refine your approach. Remember, everything you admire started as a rough draft. Third, create deadlines with accountability. Our protective parts are incredibly skilled at moving goalposts when we're working alone. Share your intentions with a mentor, with a mastermind group, a group coaching program, or a business bestie who will lovingly hold you to your word. So in my Sorceress CEO program, I've seen the power of this community accountability transform even the most hesitant women into action takers. Fourth, identify your specific waiting patterns. Do you tend to wait at certain points in your business cycle? Like maybe you're bold with creating content, but you're hesitant about sales conversations. Or maybe you launch eagerly, but then you wait too long to raise your rates. So understanding your pattern will help to prepare you and to navigate these sticking points. Fifth, connect with your why. When waiting feels safer than action, reconnect with the deeper purpose behind your work. Who are you here to serve? What transformation are you here to facilitate? Let that purpose be bigger than your fear. And finally, welcome imperfection as part of your process. The truth is, even if you wait 10 more years, whatever you create still won't be perfect. Because perfection is not the goal. Impact is. Connection is. Service is. Your fulfillment is. And all of these can happen now, exactly as you are, with what you already know. Now, I've seen women in their 70s launch thriving new businesses, and women in their 20s create profound healing spaces. I've witnessed women with chronic illness, women raising young children, women going through menopause, caring for aging parents, women navigating grief, all finding ways to bring their work into the world, not despite their circumstances, but within them. The perfect time is a myth. There's only now, with all its messy glory and imperfect perfection. So as we close today's episode, I want to leave you with a powerful reframe. Waiting is not safe. It's actually one of the riskiest moves you can make. The real safety lies in taking aligned action, in learning through doing, and allowing yourself to evolve through experience rather than theory. So I invite you to identify one thing you've been waiting to do in your business, something that your soul keeps nudging you toward despite your fears. Now, what's one small step you could take toward that this week? Not next quarter, not when the kids are back in school, not when the world feels more stable, this week. Remember, my dear, you were not born to wait until all conditions are perfect to fulfill your destiny, because there will never be such a time. You were born to create, you were born to serve, you were born to transform, and the world is waiting for your unique medicine. Above all, keep going and never forget the unique offerings you and your true self bring to the world. Until next time, I'm cheering you on as you take that brave next step. You've got this. Thank you for joining me today. And remember, change doesn't come from listening alone. I invite you to commit to taking one small or large courageous action after today's conversation. One step you can take, if you haven't already, is to sign up for my Sunday journal. It's a weekly newsletter filled with inspiration and reflections about the intersection between spiritual entrepreneurship and fulfilling your potential to help you become the woman you truly are in every area of your life. You can subscribe at programs-sarahavonstover.com/journal. And if you found this podcast valuable, please share it with the women in your world. Also, I'd be very grateful if you'd leave a review. It helps others find resources like this, and I'd love to hear what's coming alive for you after listening today. Above all, keep going, and never forget the unique offerings you and your true self bring to the world. Until next time, I'm sending you my heartfelt support.